So we're filming this video in my car. This might not be the most flattering angle, might not be the best lighting possible. This also might not be centered very well. I don't know, the vehicle's on like a slant, so now everything's kind of slanted, potentially. But, filming this video in my car. Filming this video in the car, I should say. Not precisely my car, but it is a car. I did not break into this vehicle to film this video. Okay, this is a car that I have the key for. It's in the ignition. Now we're inside the vehicle. Alright, I did not steal the vehicle. I did not break into the vehicle. Any questions about that are not tolerated. Anyways, this is my October TBR Halloween sort of theme as far as the books go. We're gonna start the month off with Dracula by Bram Stoker. Stoker, I think Stoker. The classic tale of Dracula. I've never read Dracula. You know, obviously I know the depictions of Dracula. I know that Dracula shaped modern vampires and everything of the sort there. Very excited to actually finally read Dracula, see precisely what it's about, how it's sort of written. I believe the story is written in a series of letters and diaries, which I'm very curious on how that would sort of unfold, what sort of story will come of, you know, it being through diaries, how sort of personal it will get. It's cited, but it's just the classic tale of Dracula, you know. You get vampire, you got some stuff going on. The story, I believe, I haven't read it yet, of course, but I believe the Dracula story is, you know, this nobleman comes to this town and then tries to release this evil into the town. He's Dracula, of course, and then the town people are like wanting to stop him, I guess, is sort of the story, and I'm very curious on how that's going to actually unfold and what's precisely going to happen with that. So we're going to read Dracula. First pick for the kind of Halloween spooky month. Next we got The Phantom of the Opera. Now, this is about a phantom who, I guess, is in an opera house. I guess the title kind of tells you precisely what it is a little bit. I love the cover for this. The cover is actually gorgeous. Gorgeous cover. I believe a murder or a series of murders happen in this opera house. And then, you know, the people have to kind of uncover this sort of mystery, uncover what the phantom is, what this ghost, I guess, is. And another sort of horror, spooky book that I'm very excited to dive into. But it's about an opera house and a phantom ghost that I believe kills people, or it does something. So we'll see how this one unfolds and how it is. Another book that I've been meaning to read for a long time. I did start it this year at some point. I didn't get too far into it. Not because it wasn't good, just because I didn't really sit down with it enough to actually dive into it and really enjoy it, which I will be doing this month. As it's spooky month, I'm like, I gotta read it this month. Next, we got The Shining by Stephen King. I did watch the movie for this recently, and I do dislike having seen a movie before I actually read the book, because I'm like, it prevents my imagination from really running wild like it might have if I only read it as a book. You know, having watched the movie, I'm now like, oh, I'm gonna kind of take the characters, the actors, and implant them a little bit into the book. So we'll see how that kind of evolves with the story for me, and how that works with the story. I am quite curious about how similar the book is to the movie, and vice versa. You know, The Shining is about this family who goes to this hotel, and they're like the caretakers of this hotel. And I believe they get trapped in the hotel because of a snowstorm, and then some stuff kind of happens. I believe like the family goes insane, or something happens in this hotel, and it's very spooky and supposedly very scary. And then, you know, the movie, you know, quite similar to that. I'm not gonna say what the movie is, as that would kind of spoil the movie. And I'm hoping the movie isn't so accurate to the book, because then, you know, reading the book would be like a very, very fresh sort of very fresh slate. And so I'm excited to read The Shining finally. This will also be my first Stephen King book. So I'm very excited to actually dive into his work. I did read a little bit of The Gunslinger, the very first one in that series. Never finished it though, so this will be my first ever Stephen King book. Excited. Lastly, we got The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. This isn't exactly like her, like the other 3 books. I believe that all 3 of those are her, but this is more like psychological horror, I believe. Like it delves into mortality and such things, and I'm like, that kind of would be nice for an October read. Kind of have an existential crisis a little bit. End off the month there with this one. Now, what The Picture of Dorian Gray is about, I believe this man gets a painting, a portrait of him painted, and then in doing so, I believe the man becomes immortal. He can then watch this portrait age, or maybe it's him that's aging, and he gets obsessed with the fact that the painting doesn't age, or maybe it's the painting's the one that's aging, and he's not aging, and he's indulging in hedonism. Not entirely sure if it's the painting that ages or if it's him that ages, but I guess I'll find out when I read the book. But I believe it's about a character who starts obsessing over age or over this painting, and then that leads him to go insane. And so I'm excited to see how that's written, how that will be. I've heard so many good things about this book, and I'm like, I need to dive into it. I need to read it. I need to see what precisely it's about. So that is my October reading list. A couple of spooky books. Well, I guess all spooky books, including this one, but less so on the horror front, more so on the psychological. We'll see how these books are. So that is my reading month for October. If you like the video, subscribe. If you like the video, subscribe, and also like the video, please. But yeah, that will be my reading list for October, and this is the vehicle, the backseat of the vehicle. Backseat intro. Backseat video. Anyway, subscribe. I hope you like the video in the car.